I wanted to start out with presenting the 2018 preliminary budget for the Board of Supervisors for their review and action. The general fund budget will face sharp increases this coming next year in the cost of health insurance, which we're expecting to go up around 20%, as well, again, as the workers' compensation, which is supposed to go up 12%. Our earned income tax, or our EIT, continues to be the township's primary source for revenue for the general fund, accounting for 44% of our revenue for this budget. In previous years, though, it has been as high as 50% of our income. 18% of our income is from trash services, and if kept at the same level as last year, real estate millage would only account for 16% of our revenue. In regards to our expenses and kind of the overall breakdown of them, 42% of the budget is for police protection, 18% of the budget is for trash and recycling, 16% of the general fund budget goes to the public works, 16% for administrative, only 5% of the budget goes for fire and EMS, and 1% of that 5% is actually pass-through money, so it's not money the township is actually giving, and then 3% is everything else. To end this year of 2017, we'll be roughly around $73,000 short. This will be cushioned by the balance in the general fund. As this budget stands, though, without further action and direction from the board, there would be a deficit in next year's budget of roughly around $355,000, essentially an unpassable budget. The majority of the overage stems from the decrease in earned income tax, and I do believe that our earned income tax number that we have put in the budget at this time is still high, but it is more realistic than the past few years of budgeted numbers. In spite of the increases in the cost of doing business, over the years, the board has directed the employees of the township to focus on shaving the township operating budget to pretty much bare bones, with little to no room at all for any capital improvements, any plans for cost overrun, or even for any unforeseen expenditures. We have worked on skimping where we possibly can, but at this point, it will come at a cost to the services that we provide to our residents and community. In order to get this budget to pass, the board will need to discuss on how we need to solve this. One of the options is to reduce services and to cut personnel. Another option is to increase millage, just in order to cover the budget, which would put the millage to 2.25 instead of 1.25. We could look to cover just our lost income and also give more to fire and EMS and put the millage to somewhere around 2.5, giving them around an extra $100,000. Or we could start looking towards the future and start talking about the capital improvements, the building, and the future of the township. And then the last option, we could possibly look into the possibility of increasing the earned income tax percentage. But those are the options I have been able to kind of figure out that would help.
Right, one of the